like you're some kind of god.
If the girl is truly no one, she has nothing to fear.
Why have you come to Winterfell?
I've got a gift for you.
If someone is planning on making our losses their gains, I want to hear it.
And now it begins.
Now it ends.
A Game of Thrones, 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 a Game of Thrones.
You're a bard of a man, that's what you are.
Yeah.
You're a bard.
Yeah.
Anyway, so,
Steve,
yeah,
Game of Thrones trailer.
always Game of Thrones. And
See.
so, we've got this for episode 3, Oathbreaker.
Yeah.
Many things have happened. First thing, Jon Snow's alive.
Yep, he woke up.
Yeah.
And you see him getting up in the trailer, Steve. Sits up.
Just sits right up.
Yeah, like
I mean,
the Undertaker.
I'm not doing any of that.
WWE reference.
I'm wrestling. Just stop it. This is real, alright?
Okay.
This is more real
Sorry,
than
yeah.
wrestling.
Okay,
Game
I
of Thrones.
forget. Well, the accent's
So-
more real.
Yeah, Jon's back.
John's
He's rising
cool.
up.
Yep.
And apparently, according to Tormund Giantsbane, that's his name, old Ginger McBeardy,
Yep.
he, the Wildlands think he's a god.
Ooh.
Well, he has come back from the dead. It's pretty impressive.
Is it going to be like that scene on Return of the Jedi where the Ewoks start going,
Yeah, I think
when C-3PO flies?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly
So
what's going to
are
happen.
you saying to me that John is actually being controlled by a Jedi Knight?
No, that's not what I'm saying. Because
Okay.
that would be silly. He's clearly being controlled by the Red God R'hllor, and he's been brought back to fight the Great Other in an attempt to, right the wrongs in the world. For God's sake,
Oh, for fuck's sake.
get it. It may be May the 4th. May the 4th be with you.
Yeah. I didn't want us to make that joke.
You're not gonna agree to pay.
No. No.
Fine. Well,
No.
fine. Don't say it back then.
Well, no. All right, may the 4th be with.
Yeah. So yeah, the
So
world.
Wildlings think it's God. We see that in the trailer. Then, what do you get next in the trailer, Steve?
Arya
Oh, yeah.
kicking off. She's getting some Daredevil style training.
Yep.
She was getting beaten up with sticks in
Yeah.
the last 2 episodes. But
Yeah.
a solid 2 episodes of being beaten up by a stick.
In the Hell's Kitchen area
Hell's Kitchen,
of...
Bravos, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, now she's getting some proper training. She seems like she's back in with old Jack and Hagar,
Yeah.
a man who's no longer pissed off.
No, the man has no name. A girl has no name.
Well, he wanted to think she doesn't have a name. She's Arya.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she kept Needle, so she's still a little bit of Arya.
Yeah.
So she's about there somewhere.
Yeah. Steve, question I want to ask you, mate.
Yep.
Saw a couple of banners flying, yeah?
Many, many bands.
I'd never seen these 2 banners before, but they look like chains in the shape of a cross.
Not gonna lie, I had to research them. I was not.
Did you?
Was not familiar.
Okay.
And it's House Umber.
Ooh.
Now, House Umber, if you remember,
Umber.
if you remember,
Yeah.
now if you remember way back in season 1, when Rob decided he was going to become the king in the north,
Yeah.
there was a great big northerner who stood up and said, "Oh, you're you're too young," and he kicked off.
The one whose fingers got bit off by
And
Greywind.
and Greywind, nice little direwolf reference.
Yeah.
Check out the other direwolf video. You might want to find out where the direwolves are.
Yeah, that's on the Crumpet Chronicle page. The Crumpet Chronicle.
Oh, pop a link.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's great John Umber.
Ooh.
And the house that we see, the banners that we see even, belong to the House of Umber.
Yeah.
And they're one of the biggest families in the north. And in the trailer, they say to Ramsay, they go, "We've brought you a gift.
Ooh.
It's another, baby for you to feed to your dogs." I hope not.
Ooh.
That's a bit much.
That's a bit much. mate.
Yeah. So it appears that the Umbers are going to join House Bolton.
Well, you'd hope not, though.
Well, you hope not, because the Boltons are the worst.
Things are looking pretty grim for the Starks, Steve.
Well, yeah, they're all over the place, and it's not looking good for them. So apparently, the Umbers, one of the better families in the north, are
Better?
yeah. Well, you had Lord Karstark last week
Yep.
saying that he was signed up with Bolton. Then you got House Umber, and they're 2 big players in the north.
Yeah.
So the Boltons are getting more and more support, so they're going to be becoming a good. Well, Ramsay's going to be becoming more powerful force to be reckoned with.
Danger.
That's
Danger.
just not great. And then you see Daenerys just, for a change, just walking in the desert.
Steve, I saw a couple of what looked like a big statue, and from my memory, looked like a couple of hooves.
It's a horsey.
It's a horse.
It's a horse. She's now being led to Vastothrak, which is where all the wives or widows, or only widows, the widows and mothers of Carl's go. So Khal Drogo died.
Yeah.
That makes her. That's why she's Khaleesi.
Yeah.
But because Khal Drogo isn't about anymore.
Carl.
Yeah, Carl.
Carl Drogo is
nice little crossover there. Carl.
Walking Dead reference.
Yeah, chuck it in. And they, so she's going to go live there. That's where the Dothraki demand that she go.
So that we see her coming there, right? So that's sound.
And undoubtedly, Sir Friendzone and Dario Naharis, they're going to go. Do you like that?
Yeah, that was good. That was brilliant.
They're going to go and save her.
But he's got, Steve, a thing on his arm that looks a bit like.
He's got crew. He's got Crew's.
He's got Crew's.
No, he's got the old grayscale. So
Grayscale.
I'm calling it Captain Friendzone.
Yeah.
Old Jorah Mormont is going to go on a nice little suicide mission, save Daenerys.
Yeah.
And so that's what's going to. That's what I reckon.
When he dies, when Jorah Mormont dies, I assume he goes back to Utah, the promised land of the House of Mormon.
Yeah, that's it. That's
Salt Lake City.
Nice. That was a niche Mormon joke. I like it.
Great, wasn't it?
So yeah, so that's where Daenerys is going to be.
Okay.
And then the most you see Cersei planning stuff as well. You being usual and broody, going, anyone who's not a Lannister, we're going to kill them.
Yeah.
I want to know, but she's got the mountain, well, the zombie mountain.
Yeah.
Who's been crushing skulls left, right.
Mountain.
Mountain, who's been crushing skulls left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
I mean, that bloke last week again. He only he was having a nice piss, telling a good old yarn.
Yep.
In the pub.
Got his head smashed in.
Absolutely,
Steve.
he was smashed and he got his head smashed in.
Yeah.
Did not end well for that poor bugger. And then the most important bit, the flashback, which is definitely a flashback. Because you see a young northern bloke saying, "Oh, it's going to end here, mate. You know, you'll be coming around these parts," and some blokes in Targaryen armour.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing, Steve. People are like, "Oh, who are these guys?" But you are calling it now in this flashback. They are Targaryen.
Definitely.
And he goes, "So this is where it begins." And the guy that looks a lot like a young Ned Stark says,
"Yep, a young.
This is where it ends."
Spot on Sheffield right there. And so yeah, that is. I'm pretty confident that is going to be young Ned Stark. He's then going to fight some Kingsguards.
Yep.
That's who the Targaryen blokes are.
Oh.
And they're going to be defending his sister Lyanna, who we saw in a flashback in last week as well.
Yeah.
So
Riding on a horse.
Yeah. So that is going to be. We're going to see Bran looking back, and that is a really important move in part of one of the big show's mysteries.
Right. So we're closing in on that as well. Steve.
Yeah.
Can you explain to me what L plus R equals J means?
You read the note superbly. I love it.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah. That is R plus L equals J is Rhaegar Targaryen.
Okay.
Plus Lyanna Stark equals Jon Snow.
Oh.
So the biggest theory behind who Jon's mum is, who Jon's mother is that Jon Snow is not Ned Stark's son. He's actually his nephew.
Ah, but he was raising him as his
bastard son, because the theory goes that Rhaegar Targaryen fell in love with Lyanna Stark. Mm-hmm. Lyanna Stark was meant to be with Robert Baratheon.
Okay.
And the theory is that during the war, during the Great War that happened years before, Lyanna Stark was being held in the Tower of Joy. It's just this place. I think it's in the Riverlands. I'm not sure. And Rhaegar was keeping her there.
Right.
Now, Rhaegar, the theory is that he slept with Lyanna, got her pregnant with a baby.
Oh no!
But then, not great. He's messed right up there. Yeah. And so Lyanna had a baby, but then Lyanna died, and her baby would have been half Stark, half Targaryen. Robert Baratheon hated all the Targaryens. He wanted to kill every single one of them. And so if Ned had told him that his sister had given birth to a half Targaryen baby, he'd have killed the baby.
I want them dead. Mother and child both. And that fool Viserys as well. Is that plain enough for you?
So Ned Stark said instead he went off to war and brought back a bastard boy.
Yeah.
But I think he's secretly half Targaryen, and Ned was going to keep it a secret. And so Jon, I think, is half Targaryen.
Well, that's a bold claim.
That's coming. It's a popular one.
It's a popular claim. You're not the first to make it, are you, Steve?
Do you know what? I'm going to say yes. No, I'm not.
No, you're not.
No. So yeah, I think that is almost definitely what we're going to see next week, and we're going to get confirmation about that.
Well, Steve, I hope you're right.
Me too, because I'm not often wrong. That's a lie.
Well, that's not But no, you've read some books, haven't you? But now we're at the stage where it's completely.
I have read at least a couple of books in my days.
Yes.
And the Game of Thrones ones. There's all little hints towards it, but there's nothing concrete. It's just a theory that someone's come up with.
Yeah.
But I think that's almost definitely what you're going to see next week.
Steve, I think you're probably right.
Yeah, I often am.
But you could equally be wrong.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Double wrong. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what we've got for next week. I think next week's going to be a winner.
Steve, I think you're right. That was our assessment and analysis and evaluation of the Season 6, Episode 3 episode of The Game of Thrones, Steve.
Oathbreaker.
Only on the Crumpet Chronicle.
Yeah.
I will say that there are other people that do make trailer reviews.
Definitely.
Trailer reviews tend to be a dime a dozen, but of course this one was the best. So
Definitely. You can't get this level of professionalism with such broad Norfolk accents.
No.
It's the best.
Yeah.
So yeah, on that note, again, all the usual Gumph guys, we're on Facebook, we're on the Twitter, subscribe here.
Yeah.
You can email us if you want. Don't know why you'd want to do it. If you've got anything to say, if you've even watched, congratulations.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you're one of the 19 views that...
Cashback.
Yeah.
We average.
Yeah, we average. Do we average that? I think the average is slightly below 19, isn't it?
Well, not including my views, your views, and my mum's views.
Yeah.
We're down to about 15.
Yeah. That's great work there. That's great stuff. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye now.
Oh, I do like a crumpet, oh, I do like a crumpet, oh, I do like a crumpet chronicle.